This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
It's either or with their season and how we're doing, but we can't really focus on that. We have to just continue to work hard every day because at the end of the day, they're a Power 5 team, and we haven't established ourselves yet. So they have athletes, and we have athletes, and we believe we're better than them, but we can't just go in the game we're favored over them. We just gotta come in like the underdogs.
Coach talked about the size of their offensive line and their defensive line. When you're going against bigger O linemen, how do you approach that matchup?
Just understanding that I have to use leverage a lot more this game. Just have to really get lower than them and just play with my own play to my strengths.
As one of the defensive captains, how pleased were you to see the entire defensive unit take ownership of Saturday's game through Sunday's film study?
It was a big thing, especially all of us being newer to the leadership role, having to step up a lot more this year. So, it really says a lot, having to take ownership just for everybody, the whole group.
Coach Freeze was talking about how the defense didn't really play with passion this week. Would you agree with that? And how do you find passion back on that side of the ball?
Yeah, that's right. How we find it, that's tough. I mean, it's natural. It just comes through the week of practice, the preparation, just actually going into the attention to details, really. So. There was a lack of passion this past week. Just off the bye week, everybody just was in that little relaxing phase. And, all right, we got Maine, but it's more than that. Every game is important. And, that was one game that we saw that could have, slipped up and went their way. So now it's more everybody know now, we have to be consistent with our attitude each and every day.
This past Saturday, J.I. Sanders really made some plays and flashed out there. I know you get a lot of the attention on the defensive side of the ball and some of those other guys, but what can you say kind of about his skill set and what he brings to that defensive line?
He's a very fast guy. He's really twitchy, so that gives the offensive line a different look, as in majority of the DNs being powerful guys just going through you, some speed, but he's a next level type. Like an athlete. He's the most athletic one out of the whole group. He runs a 4.5, and so he's really quick.
Jesse, as a defensive unit, do you guys feel like you have something to prove after last week? Did the coaches crawl on you guys a lot after the performance Saturday?
Yeah, so they're mad, and they're mad, and all of us are mad, and it was not a good game on Saturday. So. We just now got to step it up. And, we all have the desire to, really become a great defense. We're not complacent. We're not happy with the win. So we're just, we're upset and know what we got to do.
Going up against a Power 5 team, like Rutgers, is this, kind of set a stage for you and the rest of the team?
We always have a point to prove every week, no matter what. Who we play, we always have the point to prove. If we could stop a big team to, a little bit of points, then that's good. If you stop a little team to a little bit of points, then that's a good thing. But if you do good things against good teams, then that's fine. But if our habits just go to waste during the littler FCS teams, then it really looks bad on us. Just how we focus, how we prepare for every game.
Is a mad defense going to be a good defense against Rutgers?
It's going to be a really good defense. I believe it, because everybody's their desire is there. Everybody's hungry.
With a noon kick, earlier game, that's something you guys haven't had to do a whole lot of this week. I mean, how much is the preparation going to change, or just going into the game those 24 hours before?
So it's throughout the week. It's more of hydrating and eating well, and knowing your schedule for your body, and as well as sleeping. So going to sleep early, waking up early just to prepare for the early game, and making sure we don't take naps when we wake up, because it's going to be a 12 o'clock game. So from 7, we have to be awake.
You a coffee guy?
No, not anymore. A couple years ago I was, but not anymore.
Do you like playing earlier games? Do you have a preference?
I like night games. Night games look nicer. It really does. Unless it's a nice view out, like a beach view at a stadium or something, then hey, I'll take the day view.
Why the change of heart with the coffee?
I was drinking too much. I was drinking way too much caffeine, and it started when I was little too. So it was really bad. And I have this good little recipe. Like it's like bread and coffee, and it's like very addicting. It's like very addicting. Like you
What's the rest?
just get breaded peanut butter, heat it up, and dip it in some coffee. It's so good.
White bread?
Huh?
White bread?
Yeah. Toast it, and it's so good.
Peanut butter?
Huh?
Crunchy peanut butter or smooth?
Whatever you like, to be honest. I like either or. I like crunchy. Crunchy's the best. Yeah, I love crunchy. You know what I'm talking about.
Wait, cream in the coffee?
Huh? Cream can be, yeah. Cream is usually good. It tastes really good. You know, I like Jif. I always go to Jif. We go to bread.
How many sugars in the coffee?
Okay. It's a little bit too
Yeah.
much sugar, especially with the creamer.
Back to football, Jesse. The size of this Rutgers offensive line, and you guys being a little bit undersized as compared to them, does that change the style of play as a defensive line than maybe some of the other teams that you faced?
Not at all. Just knowing that we have to really be technically sound because, for a D lineman, if you're going against a smaller guy, you can get away with like peeking over the blocks. But when you go against some people that are like really like physically big, you have to like peek around it and be technically sound because naturally you want to peek around the block instead of over because if you're peeking over, you're too high, and they got the leverage over you. So it makes us like have to go back to really being sound.
Coach said Austin Lewis played one of his better games this past week. Do you think, did you notice that with him? Did he come out a little more fired up, not getting the start?
Yes, I seen that just unfold like throughout the week, and I just talked to him like later on like in the week, and I was like, it's fine, I haven't lost my spot before, and you just got to keep pushing. Like sometimes things come down on you and you don't like it, but you just got to continue to work. And I seen that with him. I seen his desire to really come back and play like he was playing before.